Hello! It's been a mental day, a mental 24 hours. It's just been manic. The last few clips you would have seen would have been really gorgeous and beautiful and would have seemed like everything's wonderful, and it really was wonderful. I went out in Speyer today and I went on the tour. The guide was fantastic, the weather was freezing but really sunny, so that was nice, and blue skies. Overall, that part of the day was excellent and I'm so glad I did it. I don't know what I talked about yesterday, and I don't know what I'm allowed to talk about yesterday or about today. I mean, technically none of it's a secret because some guests on board experienced it and know about it, but basically we had issues with docking and ended up moving a bunch of different times, and it confused a lot of people, including myself. Now, I was very, very clever and very lucky that we finished the tour a little bit early, and I encouraged people to go back to the ship as soon as it finished, if they wanted to. Obviously, if they wanted to stay and explore the Christmas markets, they were more than welcome to, but I said, the ship is about to leave, if you want to join me, you can, because they had the option of either going on the ship, but it left technically before the tour would have finished, or to get shuttles back to the ship later on. And I don't even know exactly what happened with the shuttles, but all I know is it didn't run as smoothly as it should have, and I'm just so grateful that I went back to the ship and that a few of the people followed me back to the ship, and that we finished the tour early enough for that. And especially because it meant I managed to get back here, focus on these last few things that are due tomorrow for my university course. I mean, it was all completed, but I'd sent it off to my parents and to a friend, I think I said this already, and they came back with feedback today, so I've just been editing a couple of things, not much, just minor tweaks. Because I don't know if I mentioned this yesterday, for one of the parts of what I'm handing in, I was given basically no guidance and no real sense of how I was meant to do it, what I was meant to do, so it was just nice to have a few extra voices. And I really haven't changed much, and as I was working, I was getting it to save, so I need to watch it back still. And it's called Final Done, maybe. Whereas my last one was called Raquel Final Artifact, because I was convinced that one was done. Well, I wasn't convinced, I just didn't know what else to do. I kind of had reached the point of whatever. Again, I don't know if I've mentioned this, I do have tomorrow night off, so at least I'll have time to hand it in, but the Wi-Fi is very iffy on here, so I don't want to be relying on that too much. And I want to have enough time so that if things go wrong, I can fix it. I feel like the last however long, I think probably since we actually started having guests, I've just been running around non-stop. I feel like I've not had a break. To be fair, that is in part because my father was here, which was so special, and I'm grateful for that. I'm not taking that for granted, and I'm so grateful for that. But between that, trying to organise my uni stuff and figure it out on my own, trying to manage the guests and the situations that are happening on here, trying to learn where I'm going because these are all new places for me. Everything is and trying to get ready for the end of the year because we're coming up to 2024, and I've been trying to get ahead of my YouTube and of the bullet journal and everything else. I feel like I've just been But to be honest, I think once I've sent off these two things, I'm gonna feel a little bit calmer in myself, I hope. Next week's cruise is identical to the first cruise we did, literally identical, so that should be easier, at least. I've got my bullet journal all sorted, which is nice. I'm quite on top of YouTube, I've made so many notes. It's so funny because the main thing I've used this bullet journal for this year is I've looked through it and it's basically YouTube or tasks from the Taskmaster, or preparing my next bullet journal. And I've just got lists and lists and lists and lists. The one thing I wish I had with this and with my next one that I'm gonna be having is that I had more of these, because one just isn't enough. And I suppose I could add more of these tabs to this as well, but there's just already so much going on. I don't want to be focusing on that. And it's only for another, 4 weeks? 4.5? Can I do maths? No, 4 weeks, exactly 4 weeks. That's mental. 4 weeks today, it's the new year. Madness. So yeah, it's not really worth wasting one of these because these have lasted me basically a year. I don't know exactly when I changed them over, but they've lasted a long while, so I don't want to waste one for 4 weeks. But I've done my Spotify Wrapped. I've basically got on top of creating my resolutions for next year. I need to respond to my resolutions from last year, but that is not a priority really. That's the other thing. I've got a gorgeous little table in here that I've made, which I probably will share in my bullet journal. Flip through. And I don't know if that's going up before or after this video. I think before. That is something else I need to film, but my tables and lists are keeping me going, and very often I'm just rewriting the lists in different orders or whatever. But if it works for me, it works for me. And we're just gonna work with that. I am now, it's gone 11 and I'm quite tired. I slept really, really well last night. I was exhausted. And I kept waking up through the night, but in a good way. I kept thinking that I'd overslept and then checked the time and it was like 3 a.m. I was like, brilliant. So I think I'm going to, because I am tired and I don't want to be, hoping to go out tomorrow as well, so I will put that in after this. And we're going to Strasbourg and I'm so excited. We are currently sailing on the border between Germany and France. I went to France last 2017, I want to say off the top of my head. Is that right? Was it that long ago? Surely not. No, 2019 I went. Did I? No, 2017. I don't think I've been back since 2017, so that's quite a long time because I do have family in France. Of course I do. Where don't I have family? I say that like I'm ungrateful. I'm not. I'm very aware of how privileged I am to have family all over the world. But yeah, that's mental. And then, yes, I'm hoping to go out in the morning and then I've got a very busy evening. Oh no, afternoon, and then I've got the evening off. So I'll just be grateful for that evening off. And I'll be focusing on this. But what was I actually going to say to you? I can't remember now. Oh, what I'm going to do tonight. I'm going to watch this final Dun Dun maybe, and hopefully it is final Dun Dun Dun. Dun Dun Dun! And then I'm going to fill in my notebooks and journals and whatnots for today, because I have about 70 different ways of tracking what's going on in my life. And then I'm going to head to bed. So hopefully I'll be in bed, ready to go to sleep by 11:30. That's my aim, but I might be pushing it. We shall see. The only way to get started is to get started. I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye! Right, so we've just got back. Strasbourg was so lovely. I highly recommend going there. It was beautiful, and it was a shame that it was grey because I'm sure it would be beautiful in the sun, but the snow was so magical, so it made up for it. And it was just lovely. It was really nice to walk around and easy to walk around, so highly recommend, thoroughly enjoyed. But we got back, we went straight to lunch, and then I've just come back to the cabin and opened my emails with an email that said Sign of Life from my tutor for university, and here I was, stressing about all these things that were due today, literally about to hand it in and just send it off, and they've just said they're going to move the due date until next week. Now, to be honest, I'm a little bit annoyed because I've been stressing about it, and to tell us today, they literally sent this email 10 minutes ago, literally 10 minutes ago. So to be saying that now, I feel is a bit unfair, because I'm sure I wasn't the only one who was more than ready to hand it in and just put it away. But on the flip side of that, I want to try and get my tutor to look at my artifact, my short film that I've made, and see if they have any suggestions. So they said they're going to do a Zoom on Wednesday, but I don't know if I'll be available for that, so I might just have to send an email and say, any chance you could take a look at this, please. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. I could not believe that. And I will see you all later. Goodbye. Hello! I have had a really lovely afternoon in Colmar. It is unbelievable. It just feels like a fairy tale. It is where Beauty and the Beast was based off of, and you can just totally see it. It was so, so lovely, and it wasn't even that cold, so overall that was a big, big success. I also don't know if I spoke about Strasbourg yesterday, but we went in for a couple of hours, like literally maybe 2 or 3 hours in the morning, and it was snowing, and it was also beautiful and lovely, and also like a fairy tale, so overall that was really good as well. However, the rest of this cruise has been, I think it's cursed. Every time we think things can't get worse, they manage to get worse. And I'm not going to talk about everything. The guests do know about most things, but there's no need. The things that have happened in the last 24 hours, and we're just going to leave it at that, but there has been more since the start of this cruise. But last night, around 6-ish, 7-ish, the hot water went out. And that's usually around the time I try to shower. I try to shower after, or just before the evening starts. So I was unable to shower. Then at about 5 in the morning, we all got woken because of the general alarm signal going off, and this time it wasn't a, drill. There had been an actual fire in the engine room. Luckily, that was all sorted very quickly. Everyone was on it. No one got hurt, nothing terrible happened, we're all good. But it did mean we were all up for about half an hour between 5 and 5:30, something along those lines. Then, today is my day off. So I was already planning on just sleeping in a little bit because I went to bed quite late. I only went to bed about 2 in the morning because I was talking to a friend. So I went to bed at 2 in the morning, then the 5 o'clock in the morning alarm went off, and then around 8 o'clock another alarm went off. And that one was even more exciting because it went off, I kind of rolled my eyes and then got out of bed, and as I got to my door, my phone rang, so I was like, right, I'll pick it up and see what they're saying. It might have been a thing to say, stay in your cabin. But no, it was the receptionist asking me if I was alright because apparently it was signalling that it came from my cabin. And I was like, no, nothing's the matter, I'm all good. And then I quickly went to check the bathroom because I started panicking that maybe there was something in my cabin. And then there was a big knock at my cabin door, and it was the hotel manager asking me if I was alright, and I was like, no, it's nothing. Do you want me to come up or do you want me to stay here? And they said, no, stay there. And about 2 minutes later, they made an announcement to say, it's a false alarm, go back to bed, or back to work, whatever. All today, we still didn't have any hot water, and then we also haven't had any air conditioning or ventilation, which has meant that my cabin stinks. It smells so bad. And it's been fine until now, but now it's really horrendous. But what else happened is that because of the lack of ventilation, the stairs were getting a bit slippery, and one of the waitresses tripped down the stairs and has ended up having to go to the hospital. We don't know how she is, we hope she's okay. She seemed alright when they were leaving, she was walking out, so that's a good sign. But that's just another fun thing. And then just before I went on this excursion, around 1 o'clock, the hot water came back on. Brilliant. And then about 10 minutes before we came back, I got a message from the cruise director saying the hot water's cut out again. So I can't shower, and I haven't showered in 48 hours, and I feel disgusting. And I can't really be bothered to change before the evening because I just don't feel like getting out of my clothes. Because also the cabin smells, I just don't feel like I want to. So I think I'm gonna stay in this for now and hope that the heating comes back on, the hot water comes back on before the actual evening entertainment starts. So, it's been a very exciting cruise, and to be honest, I think we're all ready for Thursday, which is the changeover day, because we're hoping that these guests are just cursed, and then when we get a new lot in, that everything will magically be fixed. That's what we're hoping. We shall see. It's been an interesting week. Or an interesting few days, I suppose. I think that's all I have to report for now. I might end the vlog here, but I don't know how long it is. My hair is really being quite Hermione today. I don't really know what to do about it, but again, I can't even wash it or anything, so whatever. I feel a bit demotivated, I think. I think not being able to have hot water or shower or having a smelly room, it just doesn't make you feel like you want to do anything. But I've got about 15 minutes until we go for food, so I don't even know what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna stay here for now and then go up for food wearing what I'm wearing now, and then hopefully the hot water will be back on. It's just mad, it's just ridiculous, and I'm very ready for things to work again. Anyway, that's all. I'm so grateful that I've been able to go out the last few days. Like, I did a walking tour in Speyer, and then we went to Strasbourg yesterday, and then today I went on another tour, so at least I'm getting that, and I am really enjoying that. So, you know, at least there's some positives. I'll see you all later.